I'm Kate Mason.
And I'm Luke Moore. We are two hosts of the Football Ramble podcast. And today we're rewinding back to my first words with Acast.
I've been doing it now. I joined the Ramble, 2 years ago?
And I've been podcasting since 2007.
It's actually before I was born.
Yes.
I don't know what exactly they were.
Probably Edit, was it?
What was exciting about it was, because obviously the Ramble had been going for 13 years by the time I joined Luke and the rest of the guys. The first thing I did, because I was hosting the show, is I did the intro that I'd listened to, because I'd been listening to the Ramble for years and years. So I did the intro like Marcus would do, and that was the first thing I said on the podcast.
You nailed the intro, to be fair. And listen, there was no one out there wanting you to fail more than me. And so I was disappointed, but ultimately the listeners got what they wanted. I'm in a slightly different position to Kate, because Kate's a host and I'm not a host. So my first words would have been reacting to Marcus, who was the host at the time. What my personal first words were, I can't honestly tell you, I've got no idea. I imagine it was very insightful, probably quite witty.
Do you not think you would have done some sort of little ice-breaking thing?
We're still kind of getting through rationing after the war. And it's a very long time ago. So
well, you were all doing it in your pants in a basement somewhere.
I hope the power holds out. Well, it would have been in my shared house kitchen with some mics that one of the guys borrowed from work and a mini disc player.
Borrowed.
Okay.
Really soak it up. Ready?
Yeah, okay. You got your headphones the wrong way around, by the way.
Oh yeah. Do you think it matters?
It might be getting picked up on the camera. They might think you can't put headphones on.
I actually don't know my left from my right, as you know,
enough.
so it's
They would be cruel for pointing that out. So I don't know if this episode is even available broadly now, because I think it was taken down.
Come on.
Not for legal reasons.
Oh
just
yeah.
Because I think it got lost back in the day. So anyway, here we go. This is the very first words. Listen to the sound quality, is what I would say.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first of many podcasts called the Football Ramble. I'm joined by Chimmers.
Hello.
Hello Chimmers. I'm joined by Luke.
Hello.
And also Chris.
Hello.
How are we doing, chaps?
Hello.
Yeah. All right,
thank you.
Yeah. None of us really know what we're doing. That's the thing. So now we kind of do know what we're doing. At the time, I think I really needed just to be told when to speak and when not to speak.
Yeah, there's a very clear sense of that, actually, isn't there?
Yeah. So
he's trying to bring you in.
Yeah.
Whereas now we can't shut him up. It's like trying to finish your sentence and Luke's got 10 more takes.
And interestingly, I don't think I'm actually any better now. The first episode, maybe the second episode, my housemate agreed that we could make the podcast in the house, but he said, I'm not staying out of my own living room and kitchen, so you just have to let me get on with it. So you can actually hear him cooking his dinner in the background. So that's one thing I can say definitely doesn't happen now. People are not generally cooking their dinner in the studio.
It's the same kind of, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, now we put more context and stuff. So now in that one, it was literally just like hello, and it was slow. Whereas now there'll be like a topic line to it.
But do you know what? The principle's the same, because I think what you want to be doing is you want to kind of welcome them in. You want to make them feel a part of it. And I think we never really felt like we would ever get any listeners back then. And for a long while we didn't. But the whole point of it was we weren't trying to cast ourselves as these amazing professional broadcasters. We were saying, look, we're going to have a chat about football. You're very welcome to come along. And I think that principle is the same now.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just got music underneath and we have people who actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, they put all sorts of production values.
I meant you.
In there. Oh, right. Showing up to do my first Ramble was pretty intimidating. It's this thing with a massive audience, with a whole load of people who are big fans of these four guys and what they're doing together as a unit. Yeah, it was pretty scary to turn up and be like, hi, I'm Kate, here's the show. And especially as it was something I'd listened to, so I had a sense of what it was like. But I didn't want to, obviously, when we talked about it, I didn't want to be coming in trying to be the same as what you'd done. But obviously, I'd been a fan of the show already. But yeah, it was pretty intimidating. It's a pretty smart studio setup that we've got now.
Mine was pretty non-existent, really. The show didn't exist. I've said my piece, no doubt populated the episode with a huge amount of abysmal takes, and then said to the guys, let us know when it's out. And then I think I remember just not listening to it. I remember thinking to myself and Chris, one of the other guys, remember saying to him, should we listen? Because we've got jobs and stuff. And he was like, well, I've already heard it because I was on it, so I'm not going to listen to it. I was like, I won't then. But then actually, after about 7 or 8 episodes, I think I did genuinely start to studiously listen back to see if I could get any better, because I really enjoyed doing it and I wanted to become good at it. And so I thought the only way I'll be able to become good at it is by listening back and being kind of ultra critical with myself. And so I had to force myself to keep listening back. It's a completely different experience to Kate because the show didn't exist when I started. We really wanted to get together and chat about football with our friends. I mean, Marcus and I and Chris, one of the Chris's on that episode, that bit you heard just there, we had a Saturday sports show on the university radio station. We wanted to get back together and just catch up and have an excuse to chat about football. But we didn't really think there would be any chance that people would listen because there was no market for podcasts then, really. It was a very niche thing. I genuinely didn't even know the mechanism about how it would even be released out onto the internet. So the intentions were kind of non-existent then because we've been doing this for so long. I understand if someone started it a few years ago, they would say, we want to do this, but for us it wasn't really like that. I mean, to be honest, it was just trial and error, really. I mean, we're making shows, at that point we're making shows once a fortnight. We have to remember that although the show's been going for 15 years, it really was probably 2 years before anyone gave a shit.
How come you didn't mind about people not listening?
Didn't really have any expectation.
Yeah,
didn't really have any expectation. No, it was just a hobby really, so it didn't really matter to us.
You might as well just talk to your friends and not have a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I'm trying to say is, I'm such an arrogant human being that I thought recording my own conversation and putting it on the internet might be of interest to people.
Huh.
And here we are.
I need more people like you in podcasting.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I don't think anyone's suggested that.
Yes.
For my money, you're making a statue. He's made basic errors. Do you know what I mean? He's not even made errors like...
made basic errors.
It's not like, oh, this is my artistic impression of it. He's done stuff like... He's not even ironed the trousers on him. He's not even given him a nice suit. Do you know what I mean? He's not even been like...
he's on the bins. He's got him with a donkey jacket.
He's not even made him look like a respectable bloke.
It's bad if you film me laughing at that, because I'm laughing at my own joke.
Just laughed at his own joke. That wasn't me talking, that was him talking.
I'm laughing at a joke that I made 15 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you still find yourself funny.
Probably Marcus's obsession with Sven-Göran Eriksson, I would say, and probably also the Frank Spencer haplessness of Kevin Keegan. Shall I explain Frank Spencer? You're nodding. Okay, Frank Spencer was the main character in a 70s sitcom called Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, where he would always be in a situation that he'd mess up and he'd be so clumsy he would like put his foot in a bucket and end up accidentally derailing a train. And Kevin Keegan's basically like that, and that's persisted for all 15 years of our show. However, really, we've done live shows, we've done book tours, and obviously we get emails and we get social media and all the usual stuff. I love meeting people who like the show. They're always uniformly lovely. I think if you can judge a show by the human qualities of its listenership, in my experience, I'm very proud of that because they're all really lovely.
It's quite often when you get stopped when you're going to like watch football, because obviously it makes it easier for people to recognise you in that context. And they'll just sometimes just go, oh, it's Kev the Football Ramble!
Yeah.
And you'll be like, cool, yeah, that's me!
Hasn't received a chant of you fat bastard at Wembley Stadium from 3 or 4 Ramble listeners. We've all done that. Or is that just me? Since we started the podcast, we have been able to make many more different types of podcasts. We've done live theatre tours in the UK and the US. We've written and published a book. We have met hundreds and thousands of really lovely people along the way, which has been great. We've been able to hire a lot of really talented, hard-working young people and giving them a job in the media industry and in the podcasting industry more specifically. I'm very proud of that. But I think I'm most proud of, is finally being able to sit next to Kate Mason as a peer and be respected. Well, partly respected. What are yours? You do yours now. Just talk about the things I've been able to facilitate you achieving.
Oh my God. I've learnt how to socially interact with my peers.
Hard to disagree. Hard to disagree.
I've learnt how to measure the distance you're supposed to be between the mic.
That's a very important skill, about a fist away, depending on the mic model.
Sure.
Yeah.
What am I excited about for the future of the podcast? I want us to go and meet people. I want us to go and do a show.
A live show?
A live show, yeah. I think that would be fun. I'm excited about the way that we've now all kind of bonded and turned into more of a unit since the lineup changed and expanded. And it's quite nice to feel like I've now figured out a bit more about how everyone else on the show can like do their best stuff. So I really like that as well. It's like just figuring out a hell of a lot about how you want to communicate with people.
My advice to a new podcaster who's thinking about uttering their first words on a podcast is to be yourself and trust yourself. And what I mean by that is, if you think it's interesting and you think it's something that you would like to hear, then I'm pretty sure some other people will too. So just go for it.
Crack on with it. Like, don't sit around trying to make, as you've heard from some of the stuff we did, you know, yeah, it was all right. There was something to it, but there was a long way to go. And I think that's the thing to remember. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about, this podcast seems like it's, you know, it's so structured or it's really polished. Fine, you'll get there if you keep pursuing it. That was a look back at our first words with Acast. Listen to me and Luke on the Football Ramble Monday to Friday, wherever you get your pods.